I can remember 8-year-old William had the bright idea to do karate. As you can obviously see, I wasn't then, nor am I now, in physical condition to do karate. It requires a clear conscience, athletic ability, and strength. You see, mentally, I possessed all those things. But physically, I didn't meet the criteria. After being in karate for a couple of months, I had the opening ritual down, and it was time to perform the board chop in order to earn another color. I got into position. Ah! Well, as you can obviously see, the board did not and would not break. You see, I kept hitting it and hitting it and hitting it with force and pressure, but it just wouldn't budge. You see, this board reminds me of a few people in my life. I've been blessed with the opportunity to meet two amazing individuals. Despite coming from two totally different backgrounds and having two totally different personalities, they taught me a thing or two about conquering adversity by changing our perspectives towards a situation. You see, Zorian is one of the most inspirational people I've ever met. I am fortunate enough to call him my cousin and godbrother. You see, when Zorian was born, he was born with a rare blood disorder, beta thalassemia. Beta thalassemia is a blood disorder that reduces the body's production of hemoglobin. Low levels of hemoglobin lead to a shortage of mature red blood cells and lack of oxygen in the body. He spent many months in the hospital receiving blood transfusions. On top of this, Zorian did not have the best environment at home. His mother had a bad relationship with drugs in the streets, and his father was not present. All of these extreme circumstances forced Zorian to care for his sister alone. With all these circumstances against him, Zorian had all of the odds against him. Ultimately, tomorrow was not promised for Zorian, so he chose to live each day like it was his last. He had a smile that would light up the room when he walked in. You could hear him from a mile away with his loud mouth and could see him from the moon with his rather bright choice of clothing. He often called himself Czar the Rock Star. But you see, Zorian never got the chance to become a rock star. On January 12th, 2012, Zorian's battle was over. The impact he left on this world was astounding. Zorian never broke. Now you see, this next individual is quite the character. She is the most fun person to be around, always puts others before herself, and is the best person to teach you how to swing out on the dance floor. After working in the school system for about 20 years, she decided it was time to move on. One day, she had plans to go search for a job to better herself and her family. Before she could do this, she fell ill. Lucky enough, someone came to check up on her and brought her to the doctor. She was simply unaware of the changes her body was going through. Her blood sugar and blood pressure were both unreadable, medically classifying her as dead, yet her organs still worked. As she began to hallucinate, they rushed her to the hospital and ran many tests. As she lay there on the table, they realized that she had a terrible staph infection that entered her bloodstreams and taken over her body. They informed her family that she had a 50% chance to live over the next 24 hours, and the only thing that they could do was administer antibiotics and perform a procedure, leaving a 12-inch long and 8-inch deep incision in her back so they could suck out the infection through a vacuum. Shortly after that procedure, they realized that her spine was completely gone. So they replaced it with a metal rod in yet another 12-hour procedure. She was unable to walk, so she lost all muscle movements from the waist down, leaving her as paralyzed. She was in the hospital for 6 months and physical rehab for another 6 months. She had her kids at home, wondering where their mother was for months. And she was saddened by the fact that she couldn't raise them. She went back to work in a wheelchair so she could take care of them. She did not listen to what the doctor said and let God have the final say-so. She now walks without any assistance and has made her way back to the dance floor. I'm extremely blessed and honored to call this person my best friend, my venting buddy, my mom. Despite the challenges that life threw at her, she never broke. You see, Zoran and my mama had life rough. They had experienced each and every form of adversity that life could throw at them. But the matter of the fact is, they never let it get to them. They never blamed anyone else for what was going on in their lives. They did not pity themselves and expect others to do the same. When you saw these two people, you would have never guessed that they were going through so much at home and in life. They were your best friend, even when they were broken inside. They recognized that they did not have the power to control the events that were going on in their lives, but they had the power to control from within. Remember, it is not about what happens to you, yet about what you do with what happens to you that truly defines who you really are. They chose happiness, to take advantage of the adversity and to conquer the demons inside of them. They never let anything prevent them from reaching their pinnacle of happiness. They taught me that life can take everything away from you. But you have the power of within. I am able to drive my own car down this road called life and control my outlook on the adversities that I was soon to face. From struggling with diabetes each and every day, to being medicated for anxiety and depression, to tragically losing my father and once again becoming a broken home, I remind myself of their stories through my darkest hours. Even if I have to cry a river, build a bridge, and just get over it. Louisiana Hefe, in every moment, in every situation, whether life is treating you like the king or queen you are, or just beating you like a rag doll, you have the power to remain unbroken.